week of technical issues. Let's see if this worked. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I had to restart the live. Let me know if I'm still frozen. Okay, now you can hear me. Hello, Cordelia. Hello, Anthony. Am I frozen? Yeah, I heard that. I was playing with the snow. Good one, Anthony. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. Hello, Nedra. How are you? All right, let's see if we can continue. But there we go. There is our shaker, as I said. And you can tell it's already dissipating now, but there is also some really fine glitter. I just don't like putting um, the anti-static powder on the acetate. It makes it foggy. It's not as clear. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Avi. Welcome back. I am so um I'm so sorry about that. It is just a technical weekend. Weekend. It's just been all kinds of craziness. So yeah, there is our shaker. Now we can do the same thing. We can add splatters to this as well. No, I'm not going to go over the acetate. So if you wanted to protect your acetate, just put something small there. You can put there. We'll put that little bag there. There we go. And then we'll grab our brush, mix in our water. Again, this is just acrylic paint. That's really been my go-to. I mean, I know there's a lot of things out there, but as long as your base is dry, here we can just go along the edge. I'm not going on the acetate because to me, vintage is, and if I do go on the acetate, it's just on the edge. We're okay. And then I will use a pair of tweezers to get that off. Because, yeah, there we go. So we are all good. So I will set this one aside as well. It's just a different way to do a shaker to, have a collage or a scene in the back of it. You don't always, you could do an embossing folder, ink blending. You can have little die cuts in the back as well, create like a snow globe. So shakers are fun, but they do take time. They do take time. All right, let's have a play with another collage. And that I will 9 out of 10 that I will go directly onto, my piece. I want to choose a couple. Let's see. Okay, they look fun. And we can look at one of those smaller frames as well. Maybe not that one. But we could look at putting them there and doing a whole collage around it. What is stuck on that? so we don't have to show the whole thing, but make it look like, you know, a little picture scene. So we can do that. Oh, Ave, have a good one. I'm so sorry for the technical issue. Now, one of the things that he showed too was he was able to colorize this with distress crayons. So I'm going to give this a try. And all he did, what color do I want to use? Do I want to use the green or do I want to go with the blue? I think I'm going to go with the blue. This is Salty Ocean. All he did, if I remember, this is a while ago, so he just colored it right on top. Now these do have a slick surface. You can do this with other items as well. And then we're just going to let that dry just a little bit. And then I am going to put I'm going to grab the Q-tip. I'm going to pick up that red because I want to give her red cheeks. Just a little bit. And him too. But her more so. So you really want to just rub that in, and then I'm going to go over this. And you can see it just adds a little bit of tint. I thought this was so cool. And you just want to keep rubbing that in so you can change how these images look. You can take away if you think it's too dark. But I thought this was just so cool. And you can see as I come in with a clean one, it just takes a little bit more off because I don't want it blue. I just wanted that tint. So I thought it was just a really neat technique. So now you have that, and then they'll sit in there. So like a little picture window. And I'll get my glue on that. Am I still? When it's finished. This? Can you see that? So after you put it on, Anthony, you just let it dry for a little bit, and then you come in with a Q-tip. Now, one of the things he kept saying was it had to be a Q-tip. And you can see that you just get to colorize that. But you can also, I also saw him do this with like distress watercolor markers. So you can do this with other mediums. You just got to let it sit for a little bit. And then the little cheeks. Alright, so I'm just going to put some glue down here on the bottom. I'm not going to put a piece of acetate on this because we're not making this a shaker card. go. And I'm going to use my scorched timber on this. Again, just going over the edges, because since it's shiny, it'll just wipe off. But this will give it a little bit of a frame. So we can put that there. And then again, we're going to have fun with our ephemera pieces. Now again, you could just set another piece in back. Or it can be a ticket. It can be multiple items that you just sit or set in back of them. You know, again, just have fun with it. When it comes to the pieces, I really want to save that piece. What's nice with his collections, he has multiples. So you get a large size and you get a small size. We can set, let's see what a poinsettia would look like if that would fill. Nope. Like I said that, nope. I didn't freeze up again, did I? No. Now I'm paranoid I'm going to freeze up again. There you go, that looks cool. So again, just creating, or we can have this one. Just the illusion of vintage. But I do think I like this one. There we go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and here. Knowing that I'm covering that back up. And you guys know me. It's got to be, I'd like it be a little crooked. There we go. So that's our backdrop for that. We can get some of those larger pieces from the elements. I mean, here's one, it's a little too big, but you know, you can add that. These are almost backings for your cards. You need one that's a different color. But I do like that. If you all could see outside of the viewing area. So now we've got our 3 large pieces. We're going to take these smaller ones, get those in place. Hello, Sean. Yes, we were live before, but for some reason we froze up. And then I had to restart it. So, yeah, that'll be fun. when I try to set that up. So I did. I shut it down, and because it didn't look like I was unfreezing. Cleaning off the nozzle of my glue bottle. I do like my pieces to go off the edge, even when I'm working directly onto my card base. And this I think I'm going to pop up just a little bit. And for this, I will just use my double-sided squares. And these are a low profile dimension. So they're not the typical of what we used to use. And I know you're all saying, okay, Des, why aren't you using your tape? Well, because I don't want it that thick. I like the low profile, but then again, I also do like a lot of dimensions. So it does not bother me when there's a lot. I'm going to hold off putting that down first, because I want that to go there. And then we can tuck pieces underneath from the smaller bits. Just to fill that out. All right, so we'll lift that off. And you can see I'm using a blue card base. Why not? And again, you can see I'm purposely putting things off the edge. And now we'll get this piece down. See if there's any questions. Well, Franz, good morning. Oh, that's wonderful, Nedra. I hope I'm saying your name right. Nedra. I'm glad I'm showing you just a little bit more. I am so sorry that we had technical problems. Although, you know, it's annoying, yes. But I really can't complain. I mean, that's the first time I've had that happen in a while. And I don't think it was my internet, because I actually have a booster in this room for situations like this. All right, so now I'm going to put that there. And then I'm just going to put that right along that edge there. So I just need to put a small, little tiny in the right spot. Squirt. Yeah. So I want to do that right there. And hopefully that'll work. I'm not too worried about this piece having all of the foam underneath it. It's this one. I want this one to hold its shape. And then I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to cut off the edges. So when I go directly onto my card base, which is not something that I do a lot, when I do that is specifically, when I pull that in is during my simplicity. Hello, Sharon. Welcome. Oh, I'm glad I went. I bet some people came back on the second one. But for stuff like this, I will always do like a collage when it comes to that. And then, yes, I will go around the edge while the card is closed. With the vintage photo, yes, it is a blue base, but I just love it when that vintage photo gets on there. I just think it changes the look. And then, of course, we will add some splatters because, again, I can't not have splatters. But I do need a smaller piece here to cover. I don't want splatters. Usually I'll just splatter the whole piece. But when there's faces or acetate, no, we don't splatter their faces. So I just take a Post-it and just go to town. And carefully pick that off with tweezers. Okay, we're going for, light, medium, snowfalls. And again, I'm just using acrylic paint. Where's my tweezers? There we go. Throw that away. So that's our next one. And again, even though I went around the edge, it's not on the back. It didn't go inside. Just keep the card closed and push down as you're doing that. Am I still? Okay, I'm still moving. All right, so that's our third one. Let's see. I'm not quite sure. I think we were at like 65 minutes before. Okay, you want to do one more? Yeah, okay, good. I get so nervous, I don't want to say someone's name wrong. We can do so much with the ephemera. I mean, we really can. Again, you can even, believe it or not, if you only saw farther out than what we're viewing here, there's so much that you can do. Let me take this piece off. I've got splatters that just went right on through here. Let me get this cleaned off. Oh, and look, I got that. Yeah. See, our crime scene is a fun crime scene with a snow blizzard. Yes. We can do a lot with the ephemera, but we can still do simplicity. Now, again, for those of you that are in my community, there's a huge simplicity for this month. I really encourage you to go check that out. So here, again, this is from the Layers collection. You get 84 pieces. I love this piece. I absolutely love this piece. Can we keep it simple? Yes, we can. We can take this piece here, and no, I'm not going to measure. I'm sorry. I can't. And I'm just going to cut around it. But yes, up on the community, we go through a 6x6 paper pad. We go through a 12x12 paper pad. And then we go through what you can do with a 12x12 paper collection. There is a difference when it comes to that. So here, now I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the other side of this because it's glitter. Even though it's a very fine glitter, it's just not going to stick. Well, okay, so not quick enough for me. So we can just take one of these panels from the layers, or, you know, a big piece from the ephemera, you know, whatever you want to do or use. I'm going to look at my other set here. But just because it's ephemera, sometimes, again, it's what we look at. You don't have to do a collage with ephemera. I guess is basically, that took me so long to get to that statement. It is what I'll use ephemera for, but ephemera is also to accent. And by using the double-sided tape and the glue, this automatically goes down. So here we have a nice frosty scene. I want to see what the, oh, now see, the red looks just so much better. This is what the white would look like. Clean, simple. Again, and we didn't do that much. And it's a beautiful card. It's already got a cute sentiment. It doesn't have to say that, but I do like the red more. So this I'm going to add. I'll put that right in the center. I'm going to come around again with the vintage photo just to add a little bit of something there. And boom, you got a card. And that's using ephemera. So it all depends on how much ephemera you want to use or how little. Can you take and add a tag, you know, across here? Yes, you can. I mean, there, you're adding your ephemera. Does it have to be ephemera bits like this? No, not necessarily. Of course not. You can pick and choose how you want to use your ephemera. But again, when we usually show it, we're using, you know, layers upon layers. But you can simply just take two pieces and put that there. Good morning, Flo. How are you? I'm so glad you made it to the second live on Sunday. So Sharon, you like, hello Sharon. So you like just plain and simple. I call this simplicity, but a lot of people do call this, you know, clean and simple. That's the phrase I wanted, clean and simple. It's very tough for me to do clean and simple. I'll be very honest with you. And yes, I do simplicity, but even when I do that, I'm adding a mat, or I'm crossing the papers over, or, you know, because I'm letting those papers do that work. But I think that's a beautiful card. Absolutely. I think this is great. But it is tough for me to, you know, not add that. I'm I'm being honest. It's very tough for me to not add something there or add this little label there and then stamp it. It just it is. It's a very, or to take this and just put that line there. But again, that's the beauty of this. We all create differently. So that's what would be fun to get a group of people in a room, give them all the same type of packs. Like these packs that, Tim Holtz puts together, ideology, um, of ephemera and layers and chipboards and all of that stuff, and see and just let yous all create and just say, okay, have fun. Here's what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing here and all of that stuff. But to see what everybody comes up with, to me, that would be awesome because everybody sees it differently. It is also very tough for me to add white splatters. I'm just saying. So I must. I must add the splatters. I must add the splatters. I'm sorry. I must. Must. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Look. Just a few. Mainly down here. We're gonna hit the corner. That's Notice how I keep going. There. That's it. That's not enough for me, but we're gonna go with that. But it is. It's a beautiful card. I absolutely love it. Yes, light. Hey, Terry. No, you're not late. This is actually the second one for today. We had technical difficulties before. I froze up. I'm going to make one more card with you all. Um, just give me 1 second. I've got to find what I'm going to create with. And I am going to pull some of these layers out. I don't know if I'll use all of them that I pull, but I do want to have a selection. Oh, that one's cute. So the last thing that I want to make with you all, if you want to hang out with me, see, small and large, you gotta love it. I'll keep them both out. Is I want to use one of the chipboard pieces. To create a window. He did that in the class, and it was really cool. Mine's not going to be close to what he did, but I need to just get this. I need to find it. It's buried. It's literally buried under here. All right, so I'll keep those out. I'm going to put them back here. So these were the Christmas Emporium 84 pieces layers. So I'll hold that there if anybody wants to write that down. Lots of fun. I mean, you get all these pieces. But yeah, I've got to unbury myself here. And I didn't even put a thought into these, and I still cannot find my things. All right, and I'm gonna put some. These are the poinsettias. I'm gonna keep some of those out. There we go. I'm just going to put some of these away because I cannot find anything here. And this one too gives you a mixture of everything. The layers plus paper dolls. So you get a little bit of the layers, like I just showed, and you get paper dolls. So that's kind of cool. Oh, give me that camera screen. So you can see I'm just pulling things out, and now things are just sticking together. I know I don't want that. And this is how I do handle all kinds of ephemera too. I just pull things out that catch my eye. And I throw it into a pile. And that's our last bit of cleaning up. I'm sorry, guys. I had to do that. I was losing my mind. And we have a holly. There we go. I'm going to keep the ephemera open, and there's my baseboards. Found them. So I thought this was really cool. So these are baseboards and transparencies. So these are all kinds of the awesome chipboard pieces. It doesn't want to come out. Okay, it's coming out now. And then after I'm done this, we'll let you go. Enjoy your holiday if you're celebrating. So here you have these transparencies that look like windows, which is cool. Oh, they're on acetate. And you've got some with snowy edges, which I'm hoping they have a big one. And then all of these wonderful chipboard pieces. So you get the wreath. Oh. Oh, yes. Are we seeing that? You get a lamp post. Okay. See how you just keep, pulling it. And you get a couple of them. Oh, and we even have some of the candy canes that are in chipboards. You get some great sentiments. I love the sentiment, believe in the magic of Christmas, because there is. There's magic in every holiday in December. It's just not Christmas. So you get all of these beautiful pieces. You get this beautiful frame, that edge. And you get this big door front. Maybe I want that one instead. However, okay. I was not breathing there for a moment. I was missing some transparencies. Because I specifically, and these are cut specifically for these pieces. So whatever you use, there's a transparency for it. And I will never be able to get all of this back in here. It's just, we're going to give it a shot. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But here's hoping. Because I don't want to lose any. And I have a hole in the top. Oh, look at that. All right. We're gonna seal that up now. And just hope everything stays there. So you can see these awesome transparencies. Now this one is pretty big. But I think it just fits. It just fits. And it'll work. So see, you'll get that snowy edge going around it, which I like. Now this piece might just be too big. I think I'm going to stick with this one. Yeah. Too big. And, oh, okay. I thought I put my wreath away. I'm telling you. I'm a mess. I am just a mess. All right. I'm going to get my acetate onto this piece. So see, it's perfectly cut. It just sits right there. Making sure there's no questions. My husband used to call me, Sharon, your husband used to call me the layering diva? That's funny. As I'm sitting here tapping. I'm so sorry. Oh, Sharon, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy my tutorials. Yeah, I have something kind of for everyone. I think I love both of my communities that I have. And what I mean by both, for anybody new, there's a free level and then a paid. But there, I get to gab. I get to gab. All right, so I'm just putting glue down the center. And again, I'm going to be careful when I push it down. And I went to the large areas of the board, and then with my hand down, I'll lift this up, and I'm just going to put glue along the edge. And then same thing. I'm just going to carefully lift up the acetate. And just push that down. And of course I go crooked with the acetate. You know, only I can go crooked with the acetate. Oy! So now we're going to trim away the acetate because I don't want that to stick off. And I think, yeah, I got to trim this side too. See, scissors, it's a good thing. Scissors are a good thing. There we go. So that's what our, I don't know if you can, that's a bad color to show that. So there you go. So you can see the snowy pane. I definitely want to sit this here. And yes, while I'm doing this, I hear you, but you're covering this all up. I am. Yes, you do. You get the illusion of the piece that sits behind. So now we get to have fun with our pieces that can just slightly come through. And I'm actually, this is going to be our main piece, where everything's going to sit in the back of this, if that makes sense. And you can do as little or as much of what you want to do. So, I mean, you could set something, you know, right in the center, and you get that illusion that it's sitting there. But this is one of those things, again, where you're like, okay, I'm going to be putting this here. Is that going to cover so much that you're not going to get the feel of what you're doing back there? But again, if I put that right there, I can put another piece, or I can take my poinsettias yeah, in fact, we can probably put that in the center. I need more poinsettias. I'm digging. I'm digging for all of my poinsettias right now. And that one just looks different. I don't like that one. So if I do that, wow, that wreath just really covers everything up, doesn't it? So you create the illusion. That's really what you're doing here. You're just creating that illusion of something in the background. So picture in the old times where a little kid was looking through the window at a toy shop. That's what you're kind of creating with this. Now this is all going to be trimmed off. Now we could put this here. So we can do that. Hey Heidi, well of course it is. I could do Christmas cards all year. I really could. I could absolutely. Oh, have a good one, Sharon. Um, I could absolutely do Christmas cards the whole time. Yeah. I love making Christmas cards. And then we can take one of these chipboards and put that there. Or, I like that. So you just get that illusion. All right, so let's get, I know these are going to sit right on top of that. Trying to figure out my, you're not going to stick there at all, are you? So gluing on slick surfaces is not fun. You gotta give it time to dry. I'm gonna put this one over here. And I'm gonna hold that. There we go. Now, Now we can just have fun. Now I like that sitting there with the illusion. So I'm going to flip this over. Very gingerly. Because I do things difficult. And I know that we have an opening up here, but that's okay. I just really liked that piece, and I want that piece in there. We can get this one here. So that could sit there. And then I know that could sit there. If I want that. And then I just need something small. Right there, something small. So, and that's all you're doing. You're just creating an illusion behind your window. I'll put this one here. And then if we wanted to, we could put that there. So now you've got this whole, it's a different style of collage. That's for sure. I don't know if I like the tree. Well, now there's a tree. Nope. Sorry. Nope. No, 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 no. Alright, we'll put that there. I've got things sliding all the way away from me now. I'm kind of liking the artificial. Yeah, the artificial. That's what we're going to go with. And we're going to put that down just a little bit lower so that at least you can get the image of that. Oh, have a good one, Terry. Thank you so much for stopping by. think people are needed. All right. Now, you know this is going to... I think there's a cut apart. Yeah, there's a cut out there. Oh, no, they would be cute right there. I still want to put the artificial in there. Look like they could be looking out the window. Okay, little kids. Okay, here's a little guy. All right, I want them to at least go there. All right, so let's try this. Now, will that work if I use those two there? And then him there. What do you think? I couldn't cover up her head. I mean, you know, I just couldn't do that. Now, I'm wondering though, can I put... See, now you got me thinking. Now you got me thinking. I want a little kid. I want a kid. I want a kid. Well, that looks cute, right? And then have the tree in the back. What do you think? Wow, Flo. Really? She meant for the composition. Oh, you're cracking me up. I even understood what she meant. All right, I'm still going to hold that. That's going to go there. These are going to get cleaned up here, and I want that. All right, that's... I still want that sentiment because, yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so now I need to get my glue here and here, I think. Because this little guy, I want him to go, or to be in the front. Now, this little girl is going to go here. And now I need to put her in front of the hand so that it doesn't look like his hand's on her head. I've got glue all over my fingers. She just wants to move all around. So, like that? Yes. See, Heidi, you and I were thinking the same thing. Believe in the magic of Christmas because, yes. See? Great minds were thinking alike there. All right. Now, unfortunately, I'm sorry, kiddos. I'm going to cut your feet off. Sorry. Oh. Okay. Now, I still do want that in the background. because it's just going to fill in the background, and that's what we want that to do. So we're going to put glue on this side. And then I'm just going to put glue up here just in case. And we're going to put glue down there. And I can even just drop some glue on the kiddos. Again, we're just doing a lot of tacking. And we're going to put the tree. I can't go down that far. But I can. Yes, I can. Because I can do that. Seriously. Would you lift up again? And then I can just grab a general strip of something and just put that down there. To cover that up. And then for this piece up here, I'm going to put that on top of that. Where's my pencil? And then we'll please tell me, of course not. Now, why would that work? All right. Believe it or not, I see a line. Uh-huh. Now I know why I really never gravitated to these. All right, and now we've got that in there. And of course, that's glitter going on acetate. Yeah, it's never going to hold. So I'm going to grab a scrap. Here comes that pink again. And I'm going to put glue on this. And I'm going to put that right there. So now that's going to hold that glitter paper in place. Because paper to paper with liquid glue, awesome. And it works. Perfect. Okay. And then that will sit there. Too big. I really want that to go there. Can you tell? And I'm going to put glue there because this is where this is going to stick. So if you've got a slick surface and you're using glue, if you put it on and wiggle it back and forth, it'll finally adhere. So that's why you see me wiggle. And nobody be singing that song in their head. I know what song you're singing. And then that can go across there. So this card is extremely dimensional. Absolutely extremely dimensional. Matter of fact, we can just take that right up there. And that's what we're going to do. So this is a card that I would hand deliver to someone. This would also be a card that will probably sit in my home, bottom window open. Bottom window open. Did you mean that? I covered that up. Oh, Terry, have a good one. Thank you so much for stopping by. And yes, I do want that to sit on an angle. So yeah, this is absolutely a very dimensional piece. You know, you can't tack everything down. I'm seeing that something needs to go up here. I know I keep doing this, and that just doesn't do anything for you. I know. No, I can't cover that up. I love that blue sign. Woolworth. Okay, who else remember Woolworths? Anybody? I'm inking the wrong side. Anybody? Anybody? Oh, I remember Woolworths. Me and my grandmother used to go to the local Woolworths. So again, just little bits and pieces. Oh, I don't want to cover up her face. That is still sitting there, and we are almost done, guys. We're almost done, I promise. No, I already got 25 on there. Nope. Nope. Yep. And then that will be the last piece we put on this. All right, so we're going to put a spot there. And I know we have not glued this down yet. And we're going to put that there. All right, so that, and I think that's going to go there. I like that. Lots of memories for me on that one, especially with the Woolworths. Bringing back my grandma. All right. So I'm going to carefully flip this over, and we are just going to go to town with our glue on the paper part. And before I put that down, I do want to go around my card base. Oh, that would have been bad. All right, now we're going to carefully flip this over. Don't drop it. I'm going to get up on my tippy toes. Liquid glue is the best because we've got wiggle room, and then eventually it just stops. The wiggle room just absolutely stops. I am going to flip her over. And I will trim the holly. And that is the only thing that I have to trim. Wait a minute, what's that? Ticket. There we go. I do still want to add splatters to this. However, I don't want to cover up the kids. Again, so I'm going to use these little tiny release papers. You know, use what you got. I have used packaging as masking as masking paper. You know, why kill yourselves? Okay, so there are people that remember Woolworths. Okay, that's cool. A ribbon. A ribbon would be really cute on top of all of this, right? Oh, Heidi, you are on a roll. And Nedra, you absolutely, you enjoy, have fun copying. I'd love to see it. Get in my free community so you can post. Love to see it. That's, and you know, again, I know I said this last week, but that is what I'm really enjoying so much in both communities, that I get to see what you all are working on. So I am going to be specific as much as I can. So I'm going to lightly tap over my holly and my ticket. And so pretty much I'm going to try to stay on the outside. And get a lot of it off my brush. So you can see how much smaller it is. And I do want to go across the signs. Okay. That one was tricky, and I need my tweezers again. There we go. There we go. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm loving this one. I'm loving this one. All right. Let me get all of this. We'll see what we made. This is just my way of moving things out of the way. It does not mean that everything on top of here is getting thrown out. I got to sort through it. But for me to clear the decks, we've got to clear the decks. So I lift this, shift that off to the side, and then we're just going to push these over just a little bit. It's just something to do. See, look, my crime scene. White splatters. So here is, these are the products that were projects we did. And believe it or not, we did get a lot done. There we go. I had, and Guys, I didn't even put even the smallest of dents into this kit that they did, that they put together for this. But again, you don't need the kit. Again, look at ephemeras, look at, you can do this with digitals, you can do this with what you have. Okay, with what you have. But you can just have fun. So yes, we can do clean and simple. Take one from the layers pack, take one of those beautiful front photos, whether it was mainly packaging, and you know what? Just put a mat onto it, put it onto your card base. We can do collaging in the back. We created like a little tiny photo scene with this, and then just added our layers. Splatters just have to be part of it. We had fun with a shaker card. Now, this is where I froze up last time. All right. And again, I don't use the anti-static powder. This will calm down and settle itself. But we did, and we have a collage in the background, which I think is cool. Now, if you want to use your anti-static powder, go ahead. You can. By all means, you can. And we even splattered on this. So nice, huge panel. And it automatically filled it up. Automatically filled it up. We did a tag. Tag doesn't move, but these pieces can come out and they can journal your recipient if you explain it to them. Hey, you know what, you can pull these out and create memories with all of this stuff. But they're nice snug in there as well because we put glue here, we put glue here, so we put this piece down and we kind of pushed it down because I only put glue in the center of the tag and along the bottom. That would be in the first live that I did. I can't wait to make these thumbnails. And then we tucked things in between, and then even we created a pocket here. So you could add a gift card inside your card by using one of these pieces of ephemera. So that's kind of cool. Or your gift card can go out there. And then chipboard. You can put chipboard on a card. And now again, she's got a lot of dimension going on there. She's, you know, and it says, is your envelope thicker than 3/4 or an inch? Say yes, and you'll be able to ship this. But this is not a card that I would ship. This is a card that I would hand deliver. This is a card that's going to sit in my house for the holidays. That's really what I decorate my home with. Cards that just make me go, yes. I love that. That's my favorite. And I don't let them go. And they sit around my house for decorations. And my tree is filled with paper tags and paper ornaments and even some cross stitching. It's being filled up by all kinds of crafts. So that's how I decorate. Why not? So I hope you guys had fun. I did. Oh, thank you, Nedra. I'm glad you liked them. I love the splatter. Now, we went light. This was kind of like a flurry. It was not a blizzard. So, there's that. Absolutely, there's that. So, Heidi, this was a kit that Simon Says collaborated with Tim Holtz. And if you watch the first video, this is horrible. I'm so sorry, guys. The first live, I showed what came in the kit. I didn't even, there's not even one scratch that went with this kit. So all of these different packs that I went through were actually complete in the kit. So it was the layers, you got a full pack of that, you've got the full pack of stickers. We didn't even touch this one. Of sentiments and washi. You got, this is the one with the dolls and layers, so a combination. You got a full pack of those. I got to put all those back in there. And you got a full pack of the baseboards and transparencies. So you got those full packs. You got an exclusive die that won't be sold anywhere else. And it's just this die here. where it cuts out the notches in the tags or in anything, so that where we did our layering, that's what this is. You can just use a craft knife. You got 2 small sheets of glitter paper, and then you got this full pack of ephemera with it. And then you got a frame, because they did a home decor piece that I didn't get to. Glue, the sparkle stuff for the shaker, this mini ink pad. So this was a kit that they did, and then they did a live with Tim teaching all kinds of different techniques. The way he puts things together. You can still watch the video. It's like 3 hours. It was fun to watch. A lot of fun to watch. I really enjoyed watching. I can just watch him create forever. But the kit is no longer available. That kit sold out. Now they just they're doing another collaboration for Halloween. Halloween's not for everyone. But yeah, that one's just going to be a home decor piece that you're putting together. So yeah, it was that one, I have to say, was a good value for what they charged. With all the pieces that you got, it was worth that. So, but again, you don't have to have a kit. You can buy just these pieces. Maybe you don't like the layers because of the shiny bits that are on it. Maybe you just like the ephemera. The ephemera packs are awesome. There's just so much. There's over 100 pieces, 140 pieces in the ephemera pack. And you get 2 sizes of each of them. So I had a lot of fun. I've been dying to break into this, and I wanted to do it with you guys. So I will let you guys go. Thank you so much for being here. As always, the same things I always say. Remember, I'll have a link down below to my community. There's a free. You don't have to pay for that level. There is a paid level as well. But we just look at paper. So techniques for cards and journals, and there's Zentangle that's about to launch. I'm putting together programs with that. And it's for both groups. So check it out. You can get all kinds of tips there as well. So I'll have that linked below. I won't have this kit linked. We just finished up all kinds of interaction in a journal, main huge spreads. Now that's in the paid, though, and of course I don't have it in front of me. I'll show it next week. When you open it, something pops up when it comes to your journals. And all of that fun stuff. But stay here. We're still going to be here on the YouTube channel. We're still going to have the videos coming here. So if you just like to stay stationary, that's fine too. I want something for everyone, and I want to make sure that it's available. Thank you so much for being here. I'm truly grateful. And Nedra, if Halloween's for you, Ideology does great Halloween. And I don't know if you like cutesy Halloween or creepy Halloween. I like the creepy vintage Halloween. But I do like but I don't like scary movies. I don't watch scary movies. Nope. Nope. I know. I'm different. All right. So guys, take care. Enjoy. Truly grateful. Thank you so much for spending this little bit of time with me. If you're celebrating the holiday, I hope you have a good time with family and friends. I will be live next Sunday. And I think that's all I have. Again, thank you so much, and I love you all. And remember, there's 2 videos to watch. We went live twice. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Bye.